Hello, and happy Monday. It is Nicole Johnson with Your Money Matters, and I am so glad to have you guys here joining us tonight. Are y'all ready? Hey, look, the ladies are holding it down tonight. Miss Paulette has her special drink. Our special guest has her special drink. And guess what? Nicole is always on board with a specialty cup. So, once again, I want to thank you guys for joining us here on the Brownstone Worldwide. I want to thank you, girl Paulette, for this opportunity to have access to this platform to share with you guys why your money matters. I am the Nicole Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Girl Your Money Matters because guess what? It actually does. And so when you hear girl, your money matters, that is taking you to the GYMM. And over in the gym, we have plenty of exercises to help you get financially fit. So I am so excited that you guys are here with us today. And we have our special guest and Leanne Dulce, who is our self-care strategist. So I'm gonna bring her up for her to give herself an introduction in just a moment. But I asked her to join us tonight because as a woman who encourages other women, you got to keep a circle around you. You got to keep a circle of good women around you, good people around you who will always hold you accountable to the goals that you are trying to accomplish. And Leanne is definitely that. What I love about her is her energy. She always brings positive energy, and she is going to be the one to say, Nicole, what kind of self-care are you doing this weekend? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna get on it. So you guys thank Leanne for joining us. And Leanne, if you'll go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and we'll get started.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me on, Nicole. I am just honored to be here and here at Brownstone Worldwide. Girl, feeling kind of a little fancy being, all up on the radio now. I don't even know how to act today. So, I am Leanne Dulce. I'm self-care strategist. My business is Dulce and Lay. And let's just talk a little bit about my mission. My mission is to help Black mompreneurs, caregivers, and executives who really have stressful careers. I want to help them get radical about their self care so that they can go from overwhelmed to overjoyed and wake up happy every day. My goal is very simple. I want to teach us how to say no, because that is a complete sentence. No explanation needed. To set those boundaries, to heal ourselves, and to put ourselves first. Not always because we're trying to be of service to somebody else, but put ourselves first because our lives matter. Just like what? Our
Your
money
money
matters.
matters.
That's
Yes.
right.
Let them know, Leanne. Thank you. And I see we have Tony, the eye of the storm, joining us in the chat. Now he's supposed to come on over here on this stream because I really need a male perspective on some of the things that we are going to talk about. So jump on in here, Tony. Jump on in here with us. So we are rounding out the month of September, which was self-care month. There are a lot of different things that have come up over the years in which they apply to us as women, they apply to us as moms, they apply to us as business owners. And so last month was self-improvement and self-care month. But let me also explain what other theme there was for the month of September. It was also National Suicide Awareness Month, and that really hits home. Over the past few years, we have seen an increased amount of suicides amongst our teenagers, our young adults, our young children, and it's awfully scary to see that kind of thing going on. So with National Suicide Month, one of the things that I know for a fact is that finances is one of the biggest stressors when it comes to women, to families, to marriages, and it can actually be the reason for one of the biggest causes in divorce. And as a financial strategist, as your financial executor, I am here to help you solve that issue. And so I wanted to bring into the month of October. Self care doesn't end just because the month has ended, right? We want to make sure that our people are understanding new ways and more ways to exercise self-care. So give me one moment, because what I'm getting ready to do is make sure Tony can come on over and join us tonight by getting him our link, because we need to have a male perspective on exactly what is self-care for men. So Leanne, do me a favor, go ahead and talk to our audience about things that they can practice in self-care, but it's also affordable.
This is the first thing that I will say is self-care doesn't have to cost anything, right? There are always things that you can do to make sure that you're taking care of your self-care and your wellness. One of the things that I love to do is literally every morning play something hype, really some real good hype music, and just dance around the house, right? Start your morning with meditation. That's another great thing that you can do. Doesn't cost anything. If you're an early riser, but you got kids, you've got a husband or a wife, you got family, you've got a lot of things going on in your house, wake up 30 minutes earlier before everybody gets up. Might still be a little dark outside while the house is quiet. Get your cup of coffee, your tea, your water, and really just sit and meditate on how you can have a great day, right? My motto is wake up happy, sis. That's my movement. It isn't always about being happy all the time, but it's about knowing how to get happy and not let small things ruin your whole day, ruin your whole life. How to feel the feelings and get past them, right? So self-care is such a unique thing. It literally can be anything. It could be writing in your journal. It could be taking a shower. That's 30 minutes because your girl will be in the shower for a good hour if I can. That is where I think, that is where I release a lot of stress. I sing. I might sing off key, but I'm gonna still be in there singing and getting my groove on. You can't tell you look, you can't tell me I ain't Beyonce, okay? When I'm getting it, see, trying to do the little dance. I'm too old to be trying to do them little Beyonce dances. I ain't got no Megan knees no more, but I'm gonna still get out there and do my version of it and do the things that make me happy.
Right.
That's what it's all about, is find those things that make you happy, but don't be scared to invest in your self-care and wellness. Everything can't be free.
Yes, yeah, get it, Leanne, get it, Leanne, and she does not hold any punches. So Tony, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I love having Tony here with us on the show, because Tony is going to bring that male perspective for us and really kind of drive it home. Tony is here with the eye of the storm, so I can almost guess that's that old school.
Yeah.
Oh man, that move, that music that when you hear it, you be like, oh, that's my jam. Oh
Like
yeah,
that quiet storm
my
music.
jam. So
Hmm.
Tony, thank you so much for being with us tonight. So tell me, a lot of times people don't think that men need self-care. What do you say about that?
Absolutely. First and foremost, let me thank you two queens for allowing me the opportunity to come in and share my perspective from the male's point of view. You know, I value my queens because, as I state all the time, I was raised in a household of nothing but women, one male, five women. So I know how to tap into my female side.
All
And I was
right.
taught that. You did what
All
I'm saying?
right.
I was taught that. But for me, personally, and to agree with you, Leanne, it's uh, it's more so physical, mental, and spiritual with me. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? I got to cover every aspect You know, every aspect, man. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, because it all has meaning and it all has value, and it has a learning curve in it. And a
Oh,
lot of people don't want to take that lesson that learning curve is going to give them, so they'll push it to the side, not knowing that further down the line you did more harm than you did good. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So,
good, Tony.
and that's one of the things with us men. See, you hear all the time, men wait till the last minute to go to the doctor. You know why? You know why? Just to be honest and to be a male, it's because we know every time we go to the doctor, they always find something that they wasn't looking for.
Tony?
I'm just being 100 from the male point. You know, man, the wife, the missus, the girlfriend say, baby, you've been coughing bad lately. Why don't you go to the doctor? No, because if I go in there talking about this cough, they going to find something wrong with my liver or my kidney messed up or I got gallstones. You know what I'm saying? You know?
And that sometimes is true because the cough is a symptom of something else.
Of something
So
else.
you need to go so that you can find out how to control the cough, but also what's causing it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and listen, we value our kings. And so
Right.
because we are the helpmate to the king, we need the king to take care of himself. Okay. Come on, all right.
Amen. I'm not
So
mad.
just as much as Leanne speaks of her own meditation or her tea or her quiet time, listen, men have a lot of pressure on them. Ladies, we have our own pressures, but the men have pressures as well. And the difference between the two, a lot of the time, is that we can go to them with the pressures we feel. They don't always feel compelled to open up about the pressures they are feeling.
Because that
Because we don't make it easy for that.
right, and then too, in a sense, that makes us feel inadequate as the male, as
Yeah.
the head. You know what I'm saying? Man, I can't handle this situation for me, so how I'm gonna be able to help my queen when she come to me? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of underlying issues that go along with being a black male in America. First, we gotta survive living. First, once we can navigate through that, then the rest can be, kind of predictable, But
Yeah.
first, we got to deal with all this craziness about skin color, being a black man in America. And it shouldn't be that way, but my skin color should have nobody feeling
Yeah.
inadequate or less than, or, man, I just happen to be born black and I'm proud.
That's it.
And I'm proud. I'm not taking nothing away from no other races,
Mm-hmm.
none of that, but allow me to be free to be me.
Yes. And that's
Yeah,
that's
but I think you have to look at the whole other layer of how we are traumatizing our young boys that grow into men who are told, and I was guilty of doing this with my boys because they would want to be little crybabies, but you're trying to jump off everything higher than you. They were very boy, but what is the first thing we tell them? Stop crying.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be tough. You got to be strong. Boys don't cry. So now we are shutting down their ability to express emotion. But what do we want when we get older? Well, you don't never tell me how you feel. Well, because we shut that down when they were small. And they're also getting that reinforcement from the men in their lives because that's how they were raised.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be strong. You got to be the head of the household. You got to be the tough one and protect everybody. So again, you can't show emotion because it's seen as weak.
right.
So first they got to survive being a black man and hope to make it home every day, to
Absolutely.
then come home and be stifled from being able to express emotion and fear and doubt and hurt and pain and releasing and growing from that trauma that has been built up for years, that
Yeah.
we're putting on them, that they're putting on themselves, that society is putting on them.
But see, we got to also remember too that those are generational curses that was brought down from misinformed people from misinformed people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So until we can change that mindset first, you know, man, because with my kids when they was growing up, especially my son, I always told them, look, hey, if you hurt, you cry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you say ouch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you hurting if you don't tell me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So look, don't let them little go to your head. Look, you belong to me. So if anything wrong with you, it's wrong with me.
Right.
So let's nip this in the bud right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was brought up that way by the misinformed men in my family. Oh, punk, shut up, quit crying. You're gonna be a sissy. You know, you ain't supposed to be crying and all that there. But damn, I just fell and hurt my arm. This shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. You know, that's how I was brought up, you know. So I had to internalize all of that pain and learn how to deal with it on my own as a kid. That's a lot of pressure for a kid.
We wonder why our children are in the state that they're in. So
Absolutely.
what we have to recognize is that as we engage in relationships as adults, we have to recognize that some of the men we deal with and some of the women that are in your lives, some of them got quite a bit of damage and baggage and stuff because and let me say this,
Mm-hmm.
parents and the parents before them, they did the best they could with what they could and
What they could.
so for us is when you know better, you do better. Okay, because I can remember what happens in this house stays in this house. Oh no, not me. I've been a rebel without a cause for a long time. I'm telling.
I'm telling.
I'm telling. And if you do it again, I'm gonna tell again. And if you do it
That's
again, I'm
it.
gonna tell again. And I'm gonna keep telling till somebody listen. You
And,
need to stop or somebody
That's
gonna
it.
listen.
and I'm glad you touched on that because you know one of the greatest misconceptions for us as Black people is when that saying came out, snitches get stitches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you know how much damage that has done to this generation today?
Yes,
That very statement,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
snitches get stitches. But you living in terror in your own house because you won't turn in what you know
that's it.
is doing this here. But you wearing that label that if I snitch, I'm gonna get stitches.
Well, baby, I carry
Mm-hmm.
one thread at all times. So sew me up. All right. So it is it's amazing how now let's look at this. We start off talking about self-care and we've already gone back to what has happened generation over generation over generation. And that is why I love the platform that Paulette has created here on the Brownstone Worldwide, where we can talk about changing the narrative of Black and brown people. Okay. Because if you, Leanne, if we don't tell the story, who's gonna tell it?
That's
Who
right.
will tell it? And if it's and when it's told, it won't be told correctly. Okay.
Mhm.
So self-care, which was part of September, but it's actually self-care is a lifestyle,
Yeah.
ladies and
It
gentlemen.
is.
Self-care is a lifestyle. So one of the things that I wanted to bring forward today is because I got to talk about how this self-care relates to your money. Um, there are different things that people do for self-care. And also, for me, I like to get a nice, good hot stone massage. I
Mm-hmm.
like to get those different types of paraffin wax for a foot massage or hand massage or things like that. But for those of you where your employer provides a flexible spending account, I want to ask the audience, did you guys know that there are a lot of things that can be run through your flexible spending account and reimbursed? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so flexible spending accounts have come along through the employers to help in several ways. So let's talk about how this money relates to your money.
Yes.
When you enroll in a flexible spending account, it is deducted pre-tax from your check and it goes into this magical account that sits there until you either charge it or you file for reimbursement. Okay, so as a federal employee, mine is tied to my health insurance. So every time I go to, them doctors and they find something else that they need to send me to another doctor for, or they need to send me down to the lab, all of those expenses go through my health insurance. And then when they bill my health insurance, they say, okay, Nicole owes $35. $35 automatically deposited into my account. Nicole owes $25 for this. $25 automatically deposited into my account. Okay. Nicole picked up 4 prescriptions, total came to $100. $100 deposited automatically in my account. Okay. And what I love about it is that the flexible spending account amount that you determine for the year is available January 1st.
Ooh, now that's nice.
It is available January 1st. So the maximum amount was $36.50 for the year 2022. For 2023, the IRS has released those numbers. It's going to be $38.50 that you can put into a flexible spending account. And there's a separate account if you have a child in daycare. So all of our audience members who are out here, if you have questions, please go ahead and share them in the chat. I'll try to cover them all before we go. But if you have a child in daycare, and that means daycare, before school, and aftercare, all the way up to the age of 12, if you're paying for daycare expenses, those can run through a child care account through your employer, and you can turn around and claim that money with receipts and have it deposited back into your account. Ooh. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. And the reason that that's important, because not only does that help you out, it may seem like it doesn't, but here's the thing. When it's taken out pre-tax, that lowers your financial responsibilities to the IRS. So if you pay $50,000 a year and you turn around and put in $5,000, and I'm just giving some real broad numbers, right. $5,000 into your flexible spending account or your dependent care account, that reduces your taxable income down to $45,000.
Oh, wow.
So those things can take you into a different tax bracket if you do them correctly. You can contact me with questions, but I suggest that you contact your tax preparer, your tax advisor, or look it up and read for yourself. Okay. So somebody might ask, and I'm glad that you did, even though you haven't typed the question out yet. What things can I claim with my flexible spending account? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be brazen, and I'm about to log into my own flexible spending account. Okay. And I'm going to show you some of the eligible healthcare expenses, because people do not believe me when I say you can go get your massage and claim that through your flexible spending account. So give me 1 second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Now you telling me that I can go get a masseuse?
And yep. So let's see. Massage therapy.
Wow.
Okay, you can't get no kind of massager gun or devices, but you can go for massage therapy. You cannot do massage membership dues. Okay? Right. So let me explain how that works. So Massage Envy is one of those expenses that you could claim as long as they give you a medical receipt. Now, when you call Massage Envy or you go into Massage Envy and you pay for your massage, they will know what you're talking about. All right. So you will go ahead and put in that I am coming to get a massage, and I need a medical receipt for my flexible spending account. And they will give you one, and you can claim that right there through your healthcare spending account. Okay. So let's see, there is something else that I wanted to find. There is a chair that you can, so you got wheelchairs and repairs. Okay. So if it's a green check right there, that means it's eligible. You have over the counter Look at that. Acne treatment,
Wow.
allergy and sinus infection.
And acid? Oh, yes.
Okay. All these different things. Chest rubs. You know what that means? Vicks. That vapor
Get that
rub.
Vicks.
Okay, so you have all sorts of things
Wow.
that you can claim cough serve, COVID testing, eardrops and wax removal, over the count,
I need.
all this stuff that
You can even get you some hair regrowth medication.
Rogaine.
Girl, look, I saw that. I saw that. I immediately wrote that one down. Hair regrowth.
Let's see, vitamins. Because I know we're starting to get into the weather, the warm
Mhm.
prenatal vitamins. That's
Oh.
all you get. Now, what this means is that this is if it's something your doctor prescribed. Okay, so that means it's treatment for a medical condition, but it's a vitamin. So if it's
Mm.
something that your doctor prescribes, that means you have to submit um, additional documentation. So Veronica says band-aids. And you know what? She's right. All of these things. So pre-COVID, they cut out a lot of things that you could claim. Okay. When COVID came around, all that stuff started to go back in. Okay. So it was your over-the-counter meds. A lot of that stuff went away, and you could not claim it through the healthcare spending account. But now you can. A lot of it came back. Veronica says blood pressure machine. Absolutely. I'm a witness. Okay. Um, but with medical documentation, Leanne, let me tell you about this part, because I found it amazing to me, and I might have to rethink this going into my new designation for next year. So
Okay.
there is a zero gravity full body massage chair that does absolute wonders for the neck, the lower back,
Mm.
thighs, the calves, and the bottom of the feet. You heard, you heard. All right.
Yeah, that's speaking my language right there.
Being a chiropractor, and they recommend one of those types of chairs and was willing to write you a subscription for it. Now the subscription is only going as far as your flexible spending account.
Right.
You can claim
Right.
that for reimbursement.
Right, because they ain't gonna cover that.
I hear, look, I've been looking. Okay, can which corner is gonna sit in? So flexible spending accounts or your daycare spending account. Those are wonderful tools that help you in several ways. But because we're talking about self-care, self-care can be as much as making sure you take your vitamins so you can stay healthy. Self-care is and Veronica is a part of my audience that I say all the time. I want you to schedule your self-care just like you schedule your doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You every day, you go to work from at 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever. All right. Schedule your self-care.
Right.
Sometimes self-care can be closing the bedroom door and dare anybody to come up in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until
That's
I
true.
open it back up, don't come in here.
This me time.
This me time. And if
Yeah.
you want to make sure you get to your me time, you leave me alone. Okay. Because mama needs to decompress. Some daddy got to decompress.
There we
So,
go.
it really is. And let me say this. We know that so many times we women, we wear so many hats. Guys, you guys are wearing so many hats that we
Mhm.
get to take care of ourselves. If you are a caregiver, you spend a lot of time taking care of the one who is sick. But guess what? If you don't take care of yourself, you're gonna be
You
sick.
can't help them. Yeah, you can't give when
Right? Exactly.
you're just so tired, when you're wore out.
Can't pour from an empty cup. So again, I want to thank our host. She was here with us and had some technical difficulties. I was hoping she would get a chance to come back. But you guys, I'm very excited about what is going on here at the Brownstone Worldwide, where we get to help change the narrative of our story for Black and Brown people. And just to make sure that you guys are coming back next week, we are prepping for our future economic summits. You guys don't want to miss it. So right now, I want to move on to our next topic. And you know, sometimes I gotta be careful how I put these topics out there, because when we talk about money, right? When we talk about money, when we talk about having self-care. So let me ask you this, Tony. I'm gonna start with the male perspective. Okay. Tony, do you think you could attend a silent retreat for like a week?
Sure. Sure. Because even though silence is golden, in silence, there's a lot of answers to questions that you in doubt with. That way, because see, you're not in total silence, you're not bombarded with all the situations of what's going on in the now right then, because you are removed from that. The purpose of you being removed from that is for you to take in that silence and touch into your inner self to be better to yourself and those around you.
Come on with it, eye of the storm, eye of the storm. Come on with it, eye of the storm. I love it.
Amen. Look,
I love it.
So I can do a week retreat in silence. Yeah, I probably need that. Where do I sign up? Because I go. I go.
Listen, somebody was telling me that they had just come back off of a well, hey, your girl Paulette.
There she goes. She's
Welcome
back.
Welcome back. She been around the world and I.
Man, I don't know what's going on over here.
That's that Monday technical difficulty. New month, new,
It's all
new
right.
month,
You
new
here now.
update. That's what
Here
they
now.
So glad to have you. Glad to have you back. So yes, that was an excellent answer. Paulette, so
Yes.
you came in just in time to answer our question.
Uh-oh.
So, so do you think you could do a silent retreat for a week?
I'm sorry, who?
Could you participate in a
Oh my-
silent retreat for a week?
What do you mean a silent retreat? I don't understand.
You know what it means. You can't talk the whole week. Everybody.
Wait a minute, let me ask that again.
I can't with her
She
right
screwed
now.
it up too.
Wait. Y'all-
Nicole, she screwed it up when she said, wait a minute, let me ask you that again.
Wait a minute, hold up. And I'm not trying to be funny.
I know.
Y'all talking about me. Wait. I've been in radio how long?
Just saying.
A silent retreat? I wouldn't know how to add.
Oh,
I
okay.
speak for a living. I don't know how to do that.
So
Sorry.
listen, somebody that I was talking to a couple of weeks ago said she went on a silent retreat. I think it was 5 days, and it's actually in Atlanta. It's in somewhere in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta. She went for 5 days. She was like, it was the most invigorating event that she had been to. Okay. And the reason that it is because we are bombarded with so much noise. We have so many things coming at us, you know, boom, bada boom, bada boom, family, friends, work, TV, radio, media, the people in the car, just noise,
All that noise.
to just actually be able to sit down and quiet your thoughts. Right? She did a lot of journaling, a whole lot of journaling, right? But it gave her some time to get clear on some things. It gave her some time to actually shut out the noise of life and actually really get in touch with some things inside of herself.
And see, that's the spiritual aspect of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the spiritual well-being, you know, because a lot of us claim to be Christian, but how many of us actually spend time with the Creator? You know what I'm saying? How many people actually take the time to converse with the Creator? You know I do it every day. I thank Him every day for everything, good, bad, pain, all that, because it all works for the good of Him. But see, like I say, for me, that week would be the time where I can actually get in touch with the inner me, which is my enemy at times, you know.
Right.
I'm just being honest, you know, and then tap to the creator for the understanding that he's going to implant in me or she, because I got to make sure I verify that, you know, because a lot of people think the creator is female, and I can agree with that sometimes because, man, everything birthed from a woman. So the world was created, you know. That's just me, my take on it. But yeah, but that's all part of your health, your health. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but there's
So okay,
a quiet retreat. A quiet retreat. So this is the thing, right? A lot of people probably think they could do it until you're in that space, right? Because quiet retreats are very loud, right? Even though you don't have all the things, the noises exterior to you, if you are not at a certain level of healed within yourself, it's still loud. Because you have to deal with all the things that are coming at you in your head, right?
Come on now. Come on.
Self-care isn't all. Look, we about to get down and dirty about what
Let's get
self-care
dirty.
Come on now.
People
Come on,
gotta
get real.
learn. They
Okay.
gotta learn.
Yes, because self-care ain't all the pretty things. It ain't
No.
all the fun things. It isn't all baths and going to the spa and doing all those fun things. Sometimes it's doing that shadow work. Sometimes it's looking at the traumas and the pain and the things that you've grown up with that are now ingrained into your character.
Yes.
And you have to deal with that. So a silent retreat, like you said, sometimes that's going to bring out your enemy.
Ooh, Lord.
Because you have to deal with all the voices that's in your heads that telling you you ain't good enough, that's telling you that you will never be anything in life because one person told you that when you were 5, right? You have to deal with all the fears that, you know what, I'm too fat to be loved, I'm ugly, I'm whatever your fears are. That's I think when, let's say if you're going on a 5-day, the first day or two is going to be having to get past that to where you can get in a place where you can commune with yourself, where you can commune with the creator, where you can commune with your ancestors and your spirit guides and whatever is driving you, right? But you have to get past that hurt, that pain, that fear, and all that stuff is so loud. You know,
And
I'm telling you, people don't get that quiet can be loud as hell.
I'm glad you said that because, like, I was hoping that in the 5 days that would be part of the agenda, you know, because you know, like you say, just if us folk just got off the bus, went to this thing for 5 days, and we look at each other like, man, I don't know what to expect, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to expect. So if I would hope that they would have, you know, an agenda to where when all the participants show up, it's like, okay, the first 24, 48 hours, it's going to be like a detox. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like a detox.
I think Tony saw the itinerary.
Man. Like I said,
because he's right though. You have to.
I would definitely attend because just so I can get a better understanding of how I tick. You know what I'm saying? Of how I tick. Why is it that this person said something that got me so ticked off to where I want to do something to this person? So I know it's something in me that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Tony, that
I don't know how I would fare in this kind of an issue. I mean, if I did a fight, so clearly,
she can't even get it out.
You can't get the words out.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Silence. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this and I'm saying, I have done shadow work. I have done all that, and it was. I'm going to be honest with you all. For anybody that's ever done it, clearly we all have, and we just didn't know that that's what we were doing. It was the most painful thing.
Oh yeah.
It was the most painful thing I have ever done. When we were talking about pulling things out from the root so that we can become better people, right? A lot of times we don't know what we don't know until we sit back and we track back the things that are our triggers.
Mhm.
And so I had an opportunity. I don't know. It might have been about maybe 11 years ago now, a little bit, maybe 12. I actually did some shadow work, and kind of, it wasn't quiet time per se, but what I will say is I had an aha moment where there had to be some forgiveness that was done to my family, to my parents, being as young as they were when I was born. And I was holding all of that in, not realizing that even though I didn't even understand what had happened and I didn't even know the full story, that DNA was still there and I was carrying it, and so here's a question that I have. During this type of work, when you're talking about like a 5-day, fast on, silence or whatever, do you find that people are apt to not continue because it is too painful? Do you have people that, because for me, it was so painful. I think I cried for 3 days. Literally, I cried for 3 days because I couldn't handle it. And sometimes even now today, when I think back on me pulling that root out and how painful it was, and understanding that things had occurred to me and that had happened to me were not my fault.
Right.
And just really kind of dealing with that. It was, man, you talking about painful. How do you deal with that, Leanne? Because I know that this is your wheelhouse.
I mean, this is my philosophy.
Okay.
Right? Is that, and this is why I think a lot of us have all this repressed pain and trauma in our body that expresses itself physically for us, is you need to feel the feelings when you feel them at that moment. Stop trying to push it off and push it down and repress all those feelings and emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to release it. You have to learn how to release.
Yeah.
Because when you hold that, the only person still holding it is you.
Mm-hmm.
The other people around you done let that go. They moved on, and you're still holding pain, fear, anger, resentment, hurt. You have to heal you. We sometimes think, oh, you did this to me, now you have to fix me. No.
No.
You are obligated to fix yourself. You are obligated to make yourself happy. Nobody else can do that for you.
Amen.
So you have to sit in that pain. You might have to cry for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, a week. But there comes a day when you're going to stop crying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you get past it. And you realize, it really wasn't my fault, right? Forgiveness is the hardest thing to give, but the easiest thing to give at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you forgive somebody, you have to let go of everything that they have done to you. Do you know how hard that is? Somebody molested you, raped you, beat you. You have to let go of that pain for you, not for them.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with them. It's all for you. Yeah. So you got to sit in that pain, and you've got to work and fight your way through it. That's what I tell people. You fight like hell to get back to balanced. And you find those things that help you cope with that. If that's talking to your friends, if that's talking to a professional, because sometimes the things that we're dealing with, we can't deal with them alone. We need to talk to a professional. And in the Black community,
that's taboo.
That is taboo. What happens in our house stays in our house, and right? But we've got to get past that. Nicole said earlier, like, I'm the whistleblower. If something happened, I'm going to tell it.
I'm telling you.
Right?
But Leanne, let me add that one of the hardest things that, like you said, is this, Paulette, what I have found is that you have to do it under good guidance.
Yes. And I agree.
Have someone who is trained, who understands. And if they're not trained, someone who has gone through the same thing and overcome it. And now they're in a place where you want to be, and they help you travel that path. Because I'm not saying that, that good girlfriend of yours can't help you, but she has to have experienced what you've experienced in order to walk you through that pain.
Absolutely.
And I'm 100% saying sometimes she can't help you.
Right. And it's not just walking you through the pain, because we can sit around, have a glass of wine, and walk through the pain all the time.
All the time.
The key is to get through it and then start the healing process. Everybody can't help you heal.
Right.
Everybody's not qualified to help you heal.
Mhm.
And so I'll tell you a little bit about my own experience. I moved to Dallas in March, and I went back for a retreat that my church was doing. We did it strictly online, and it's called Life, Living in Freedom Every Day. And it was kind of disconnected for me because we were all online.
Mhm.
However, the end of the session culminated at a retreat physically at the church. Okay, so I flew back to Birmingham. I arrived on Friday night, and I mean, I'm looking at people that are just bawling and letting it loose, and I'm saying,
What's wrong with them?
I was like, what is wrong with these people? And the lady who came up and spoke, she said, listen, your encounter with God does not have to match anybody else's encounter.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Ask him to bring you the experience that you want. And Lord, why she say that? Because I couldn't stop snotting, crying. And so the next morning, it was all day. It was like a 8 to 5. And I had never, the things that I've experienced, I thought I didn't let it go. I can deal with it. They had a man come up and speak. He said, close your eyes. Now I'm speaking for the teacher, the father, the uncle, every man in your life that failed you. He did this and this and this. Before I knew it, if I had a bucket, I'd have filled it up with tears.
Yeah.
Okay. And as he's talking, these memories are coming back. And I'm sitting here like, where did that come from? I thought I let go of that. I thought that was, and I mean, it happened just like it was yesterday.
Mhm.
Then they went on to have a woman come up, say the same thing. I'm the mother who abandoned you. I'm the mother who failed you. I'm the mother who didn't protect you. I'm the this, I'm the that, I'm the da 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 da. And before again, I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm looking like these people. The
Yeah.
only thing I hadn't done was run up and down the aisle. And so they had after each session, they had you come up front. And before I knew it, I was saying things I had never ever thought I'm putting you on the altar. I'm letting this go. I'm letting this go. And when it was done, I said, Lord, I gave it all. Now put me on the altar.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have somebody that helps bring you back, right? You can't be in a dark place and not have somebody help guide you out of that dark place, right? So those kind of events. So back to your original question, Paulette, of do people leave? I'm sure you have people who leave a quiet retreat in the first day because, like I said, silence can be deafening, right? When you have a lot of demons that you are dealing with. But I do think that they would have a grief therapist, a trauma therapist.
Yeah.
They're going to have a program that's going to help walk you through it so that, like you said, coming into it, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to do.
Right.
I've never meditated before. So when you've never meditated before, there is no such thing as quieting your mind.
Right.
Because you think you quiet, but literally, I wonder if I took that chicken out. I wonder if this happened. I wonder if that happened.
Did I turn the stove off? Did I shut the in the bathroom?
And that's why it gets loud, because once you get past that, then them fears and the things, and especially don't let somebody trigger something.
Woo, Lord.
Right.
That can bring you. Like I said, I'm not an emotional person. We had a call the other day, but last Friday. And I ended up crying on the call. And I can't tell you what caused it. It was just an emotional feeling about women and the trauma that we endure, that we go through, that we hold on to, especially as Black women.
Yes.
Right? That we endure every day. And it's become so ingrained into who we are that we feel guilty for doing the littlest thing for ourselves. There's something wrong with that when you feel guilty
about doing
something for you, or you feel like I have to. I was watching this little podcast, and this woman says something that just hit me so deep. She was like, she said, I used to think about joy differently, right? She said, I was like, you have to be radical about your joy and da 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 because all the people are trying to take it from you. And then she was like, I just want to be joyful for the sake of me being joyful, not
Yeah.
out of utility for somebody else so that I can be a better mother, so I can be a better
Right.
wife, so I can be a better worker. I want to be joyful for me
Yeah.
because when I'm still doing it to be of service to somebody else, I'm still telling myself that I am not enough,
Yeah.
that their needs surpass
Always.
my life,
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
right? And that one statement totally changed my whole concept or perception of self-care and wellness. And this is what I do. But that just lets us know that there is always
Always room for improvement.
learning, there's always improvement, there's
Mhm.
always growth.
Always.
Nobody is perfect, nobody knows everything. I know I sure don't know everything. I got an answer for everything. It may not be right, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say something.
Yes, that this has been some great conversation.
Yes.
Really wrapping up Self Care Month in September, bringing light and recognition to recognizing that National Suicide Month in last month in September is something that's still going to continue, and that if you or a loved one needs to get some help, get help.
Mhm.
That is the one thing you owe yourself. You have to get some help, because as much as we try to be there for the kids, for the husband, for the wife, for the loved one, for the moms, for the dads, if we're not there for ourselves, we can't do anything for anyone else. So
Right.
I really love being able to come to you guys to talk about self-care, things that you can do that are affordable, right? It doesn't always have to
Mhm.
have a price tag on it. It can be just really some quiet time alone, away from everything and everybody. Okay.
Mhm.
Because listen, because we're gonna close out on time tonight. There are some times when those children run past you,
You
you
gonna snatch them up.
realize, you know what? You got one more time to get on my half a nerve, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna bust your head open. You feel like that sometimes. And if you say you don't, I don't know what your children are or where they come from. They probably stuffed and sitting on a shelf.
Right. But we make
Because
sure
the children will test all of you.
one of
And if you do not
Mhm.
replenish yourself, if you do not get something that pours back into you, you will realize the true definition of not being able to pour from an empty cup.
them. Hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Oh, that's
Tony
good.
talked about what men need to do for self-care, and how they have to overcome some of the negative stereotypes and influence that they had growing up as children. So men are carrying a lot on their back. It's not like they just not fighting America, they just not fighting the society, they are fighting the people in their home, they're fighting people inside of themselves, because it's a whole lot going on.
Mhm.
So men need self-care just as much as women need
That's
self-care.
right.
And so we talked
Yeah.
about ways to use our flexible spending account so that we can get some of these self-care options. And then most importantly, the self-healing that
Mm.
we have to do
That's
is
right.
also a part of self-care. And self-care won't always be pretty.
No, no, no.
Self-care will not always be pretty. It's almost like we go back to talking about destroying a house.
Hmm.
Mm.
To build a house, we bring all the materials out, but if the foundation is messed up, we got to tear it up
Demo
Start
first.
over.
and
Yep.
rebuild
Demo
it.
first. Clean out the area, then rebuild.
You're going to make a mess before you can build that masterpiece. Okay, so for somebody listening out there, if this touched on your heart, if this really pushed you to have to take a look at you, then we've accomplished our goal. We have accomplished our goal. And I once again want to thank you, girl Paulette, who's the CEO of Brownstone Worldwide, for all the different platforms that she makes available for us, that allows me to be here on Your Money Matters to talk to you about all things finances, all things financial, but to give you some different perspective on how, if you don't deal with certain things in your life, your finances is going to be jacked up. Let me make it real clear. If you don't take some time to have some self-care and that blood pressure causes you to explode and be in the hospital, you can't go to work, you can't get paid. Right?
Right.
That part and those parts. So
Yeah.
I thank you, Paulette. You have any closing thoughts before we go?
First of all, thank you, Nicole and Leanne, and of course Tony, for joining us tonight. Y'all, I think Nicole got it. I'm just here for support and love. But after a while, it's gonna be Nicole. So listen, no, I'm playing. So this is an amazing show. Yeah. So listen, up next is Marshawn Olania. Her show is called Love Restored. And this evening's show, y'all, is all about how to get the love that you want. There's also a link that is available. Also, as Tony is sharing, KCCR Radio, the app. Go ahead and download the app if you would, please. Tony's show airs on Saturdays and Sundays. It's called Eye of the Storm from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You're going to get some blues. You're going to get some old school. We were listening to it all weekend while we were doing our photo shoots for the upcoming holiday season. And Tony was rocking out. So we really appreciate you all hanging out. Y'all, we got some stuff that's coming up. I will be back later on after all of the shows tonight for tips, topics, and talks. So you can find out what events, what items you will be able to come aboard the Brownstone and support. So we got a great one coming up to celebrate myself and Cullen's birthday in October.
All right.
Yes, we got
two birthdays.
All right. Well, thank you, Tony. Any last words for the audience before we wrap it up?
Just for all of my kings and queens, know that you are more than what you've been thinking yourself of.
Come on.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are way more than what you've been thinking yourself of. You know what I'm saying? I want us all to start showing and giving more respect. I want us to start loving each other more.
Yes.
Because in the whole big picture of this whole thing, we all we got.
Come on, Tony.
That's right.
Come on, Tony. Thank you, Tony and Eye of the Storm. Leanne, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Any closing thoughts for our audience before we go?
Yes. So don't be afraid to heal. Our goal is to be healed, happy, and whole.
Yes,
right? That means sometimes it's going to get ugly.
Oh yeah.
But there's so much beauty and peace on the other side of all that work. So if anything that I said touched you, as I hope it did, you can hit me up at dulceandlay.com, find out about some of our self-care services and products, and realize you have to invest in your self-care.
Amen.
Everything can't be free, but there's a lot that you can do that is free. So come on over and let me help you out, sis. I got you.
Yes.
I love it. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited to be able to come to you to talk about Girl, Your Money Matters. As I told you, it's GYMM. We're taking you to the gym where we have all sorts of exercises to help keep you financially fit. I'm going to give you one peek into what's coming up on next Monday. We're going to be talking about financial planning, right? October is financial planning. We're going to talk about how to stump out those goals for the remainder of Q4. But we're also going to do some predictions for 2023. Going to have help you set up your 2023 for success. Okay. So I'm really excited to join you guys on Your Money Matters, because it does. Thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.